Fractured Compass fans? I'm Bree.
I'm Mike.
And today we are doing a Halloween Q&A based off of your questions that you submitted on Instagram. So thank you so much for everybody who submitted a question. And without further ado, let's start with question number 1.
Yeah, let's just jump right in.
This is from Tay Rosemarie. In the past 3 years, what was your favorite haunt experience and why?
Ooh, in the past 3 years.
3 years. Oh. You want me to go?
Yeah, go first.
Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. 2017 was hands down, like, just could not believe that there could be that many houses, that many scare actors, that much money that was put into an event. It blows Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights out of the water. Though they are coming up there. Hollywood is bringing up the quality for sure, but Universal Studios Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights for sure. What about you?
Cool. It's a little different for me since the last 3 years I have been working at Not Scary Farm,
Right.
but honestly, the experience I'm having inside Infected right now is one of the best experiences that I've ever had. Being the final year, everybody wants to be there. Everybody's going as hard as they can, 10 out of 10. And Jax has been doing so well on Ghost Town streets. She is the she-wolf. She's the she-wolf. She stands out. You guys have seen her on the street. She definitely stands out.
Yeah.
So this has just been a great all-around year, I think, for
really has.
for all the haunts. So
It really has.
You ready for the next question?
Yes.
Batman asks, what do you feel each other's strengths are?
Like each other's strengths are?
Yes.
Oh. Ooh.
Wow.
I will definitely go first. I think Mike's greatest strength is kind of being a people pleaser and knowing how to talk to people even when they're strangers. For example, when there's fans that come up, he just has this smile on his face and he's so inviting and makes them feel welcome, and it's super cool to see you kind of light up and everything.
Thanks.
So
thank you. I
I
love you.
I
I'm gonna have to for sure say that Bree's biggest strength is understanding how this channel works, operates, and what we need to do. And I think that if it wasn't for Bree, for sure, there wouldn't be no Fractured Compass how you see it, because she has such a great understanding of what the content we need out, like what we have to. It's so hard to explain. It's just Bree. We need Bree. We need to have Bree because you're very good at like understanding what makes this channel work, and then you play to everyone's strengths, whether it's me, yourself, or Jackie, or Arl. You know what to do.
Thanks. I think I'm a good, I don't want to say dictator.
No, you're not a dictator. No, because we all pitch in and like say like, hey, let's vlog this.
On top of that, it can't just be me, and I absolutely recognize that. Yes, it may have been my crazy idea to start this YouTube channel, but without you, without Jackie, without Arl, none of this would work, and I would have completely failed because we are all cogs in this giant fractured machine.
Let me tell you guys something real quick. Whenever we have to do a vlog and none of us are next to each other, we hate it.
We do hate it.
We do hate it. And I think
so much.
we have so much more fun when we're together doing things, and so I really don't like doing reviews without you or going to places without you because we're family, and so it's nice to also spend time with each other. This channel's been a good way to like the family to be together, because it is hard to make time for each other when everyone's working full time, when everyone's busy with things.
And I would say that we have had some crazy adventures all together.
Yeah.
Like things that we would have never done normally.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Tickets are bought.
I'm really proud because like I think I might be just a smidge more adventurous than you, but seeing you and Jackie just really going out of your comfort zone on like a lot of these things, it's like now I feel like you're more adventurous than me, in all honesty,
I mean, I just don't want to be the chicken that won't
but
do
you're
it.
not. You're not
because,
at all.
But the thing is like I gain strength from everybody around me, like all you guys, and so it's something that like I don't want to say YOLO because I kind of freaking hate that phrase, but if I know that the chances of me dying are less than 50%, I'm probably gonna do it. But
Yeah.
and I know it's a safe zone, and all the haunts that we've been, especially the 17th door, that was way out of my comfort zone. I know I'm not gonna die, but I know I'm gonna be in uncomfortable situations, and so again, dropping 5 feet into a ball pit, didn't see that coming,
No,
even though you did.
I had a suspicion.
Yeah, and then, you know, having a hood put over my head more than once in the last 2 months, never saw that coming, but hey, let's check that one off the list.
Yeah. you for sure have been, like, going hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A couple people asked similar questions. So CC01, I Am Groot Bree, and the Knights of Horror all basically asked, what has been your favorite haunt so far this year? Taking into consideration that we have not done Reign of Terror yet.
Got it.
Oh man, you guys.
It's a hard pick.
I don't want to give a political diplomatic answer for this, but I would have to say that every single haunt that I have gone to, on my side, how I think of it, everything has been so different. And so if I'm looking at what's the best all-around event, I would have to say Not Scary Farm, because they do have Puppet Up this year, which is a huge hit. I did not think it was going to be that huge. It is a huge hit, and people are just raving about it. And they have some new things. They had some new mazes come in, but Dark Harbor had their new maze come in, and they kind of have stepped up their game just a bit. And then, you know, 17th Door, I didn't think I was going to have fun. I had a blast because it was so different than anything else. We have not been to Reign of Terror yet, so I know that maze is always rated like a 4.8 out of 5 stars every single year, and it takes a half-hour walk through. But man, like, they have all been so equal, and I think the reason why I kind of put Dark Harbor up there, while some people are kind of like Dark Harbor, but it was those interactions with the captain, those interactions with the, you know, the voodoo priestess and stuff like that, that kind of made that haunt so much more. And the interactions I had with, you know, with some of the sliders, with Famous and things like that, like, it's those personalized things that you don't get at other haunts, because Halloween Horror Nights had great mazes this year.
Yes, it did.
I'm glad they took out the Terror Tram. They stepped it up without black walls or anything. They did really well, but you never had a personal interaction with any monster in there. And not being a better all-around event, you might have some personalized interactions, but they are very few in between based on what those characters are and what they're doing. But Dark Harbor, it's all about that interaction, all about that personalization sometimes. So, 17th Door, it's all about that very close interaction, very personal interaction,
very touchy
with some of those actors. So,
what about Hayride?
Hayride is still coming into its own. And they did take a step up this year, and I think they did great things with it. I think they still have some more to go. But with that said, the theming that they did across the board with Midnight Falls was flawless.
Yes.
It was Midnight Falls all the way around. All the mazes interacted with that theming. And it was actually super fun to be with to have some of the personal actions with the characters. But I think they were like, this is your character and this is kind of what you like and how you do. So there were a lot of things that were scripted, because I saw kind of multiple people's blogs and they kind of would say the same thing, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But they were cute, and I loved the atmosphere, and I would go back to Hayride this year without a second question. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time, and they have an escape room.
Yeah. Yes,
that
they
I
do.
kind of want to try.
So we did an escape room, the basement, and that vlog will be up, I think, before this vlog.
Yes.
And it was Bree and Jackie's first time doing the basement, and I think they had a very, very good time, and we're noticing a very competitive streak when it comes to Bree.
We are very, very competitive, and we
Little
don't
bit.
like losing, so we need to go back and escape.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
And we were so close.
But yes, to sum that long-winded answer up, I feel like this year it's not cut and dry for me. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Everybody was different and everybody was good for their own individual reasons.
And I would have to say so as well. That was a very well-rounded, excellent answer, and so it's kind of hard to follow up with that. But I do have an answer. Like, I do have, not that you didn't, but I do have one that I think was above all, and that was Not Scary Farm. And
What?
and there's a big reason why Not Scary Farm is my answer, is because yes, I am more of a Halloween Horror Nights kind of a guy. I do like the movies. I like the, you know, just being in LA and in that park. I love it. However, there's a very big reason why Not Scary Farm comes on top for me, and that was, like you said, the character interactions. Some of them knew my name. That was crazy. Michael!
What? Do not sit down. Go eat. Hurry up.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
In the buffet dinner, and that was just like, oh, it just made it that much more like exciting and giddy. Number 2, I have 2 sisters, Bree and Jackie, that are at Not Scary Farm, and they are giving it their all, and I'm very, very proud of them, and I really am enjoying seeing the footage of them. And I also have a couple other people that I know that are in different areas, and it's amazing to see how they're doing. You know, Alicia, you know, Ruth,
Worked on.
Kyle, all of them. They're all just giving it their all, and it's just nice to see people that you know doing something that they're so passionate about. And I think that's why I really like Not Scary Farm this year. It just feels like more of a close to home, more close here. Right. But yeah. And I also I know a lot of the monsters, and I also don't know a lot of the monsters. I know a lot of the monsters through you guys, through the stories I hear, through like other vlogs that I watch, like how they are outside of, you know, scaring people at the park. But then, you know, it's just amazing how I can see all of them just flip that switch, and now they are the monsters. And I think
even Arl got a little something from John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and John. Did I say John too?
No,
when I was naming them?
Sipes.
John as well. Yeah, everyone is doing well, and I really, really like Not Scary Farm this year. It felt very, very
And
nice to see, I guess, you know.
And like I said, if you do have it, it's the more well-rounded, more balanced event. Shows, maze-wise.
Yeah, and the 2 new
Scare Zone.
mazes that they did this year were fantastic. I thought that Origins was such a good upgrade from Red Barn, and I'm so happy that we got that. And also Waxworks was surprisingly, like not surprisingly, I shouldn't say that, but it was a welcome replacement for Trick or Treat. And the Puppet Up show I still have not seen, but I've watched the shows on YouTube, and I'm dying, and I want that to come back already. Like, I haven't seen a show live yet because we've been so consumed with filming monsters and go through scare zones, but I am going to go and I'm going to watch a show live because it seems hilarious.
I think Puppet Up will be back.
It's great.
I hope
I
hope
it would be back.
And I like situational comedy too, like live sketches, like Whose Line Is It Anyway, and it just feels like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. So, Not Scary Farm, you guys have really done it. Halloween Horror Nights, for me, is a close second because their mazes were so good. And I'm gonna have to say Dark Harbor as well is also like probably second place, not even third, but right there, because Dark Harbor again had those really close character interactions, but it's the makeup and the costume design at Dark Harbor that really like just took it home for me. There were some very, very creative costumes and appropriate ways to like use the costumes to your advantage to get the scares that I have to say. But yeah, Not Scary Farm.
Wow.
Next question.
Wow. Okay. Nate Bar 1, I hope I said that right. What year has been the best Halloween ever?
Ooh.
And if you don't say a particular Halloween, darling, we're going to have problems.
Can we say? I'm gonna have to
Okay.
say that our answers combined because I already know that the answer is the same as yours. Okay? So Bree will speak on my behalf as well.
Best Halloween ever was 2015 when I married Jackie.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It was
That was such a good wedding.
It was a good wedding. It was
Yeah.
a 4-day event,
Yeah.
which it wasn't supposed to be a 4-day event, but it turned into a 4-day event, and it was the happiest day of my life.
Yeah.
She was so.
You guys got married. So a little backstory here is that me and Jackie are blood related. Jackie's my sister, and Bree has married into the family. So Bree is technically my sister-in-law, but I've known her for probably more than half of my life. So she is considered my sister, of course.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
honestly.
I watched you graduate high school. Bro.
I know you watched me before. I have to say that was a fun wedding though, and so they did get married up in the mountains where we grew up, like Arrowhead, and that was just really fun. I think because the setup itself was stressful, but also enthralling and exciting, and they had a Halloween themed wedding, Avi, on Halloween, and we had to carve. How many pumpkins did
65.
we carved 65 pumpkins. We eventually got so tired of scooping out pumpkin guts and carving them that we literally got a hacksaw, or no, what was it?
We got a power, like a scroller, like a jigsaw, basically.
Like,
It was a power
We
jigsaw.
were using power tools to
and
carve
just
pumpkins.
carving holes and then dumping and then just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what half the pumpkins look like.
Honestly,
after a
I
while.
think that was
It
one of
became
the
a blur.
first times we had a lot of the family together in a long time, and that was kind of cool. And then all of our really close friends.
Yeah.
Just kind of coming together for this really weird,
Yeah.
eccentric day that we all had.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Strawberry.jpg.
Oh,
Strawberry.jpg.
I like that. It's
Yeah.
nice.
I
It's
like
cool. What have been some of the funniest moments while visiting any haunt? And I think Mike, you might be the funniest thing, because
Me?
oh, the reactions that we get from you sometimes with a scare that you're not expecting is the greatest thing.
I don't know
in
what
the
you're talking
world.
about, actually. No. I would have to say the funniest thing that we've had at the Halloween event so far are we talking just this year?
I think this,
I remember that
while
any
visiting
year.
any haunt, I think this is encompassing your whole young life.
I think, so Bree really hates, for Bree at least, the funniest thing I've seen her do is we went to Halloween Horror Nights, I think it was in 16 actually, sorry. And Bree hates the movie The Exorcist. She hates it. It's like one of her
my
all-time
God.
fears. She does not do anything related to The Exorcist.
Every time anybody wears an Exorcist shirt, I'm like,
So, yeah. Linda Blair, like the head spinning, she doesn't do it. And so they had the Exorcist maze right behind the mummy queue. And she was kind of talking herself up to do it. Like at first when we bought tickets to Halloween Horror Nights, she flat out said, no, I am not going through that maze. There's no way I'm going to go through it. And then when we were there, I think you just got like a little thing of courage and you're like, okay, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to do it. So I remember I was like, oh, I'm keeping my eyes glued on Bree the entire time that we're going through this. And she did well, except for one part. And it was a part where they had like a Linda Blair dummy attached to this dolly rig, and then it would like push forward real quick, and it was during a black room area. And obviously Bree was like walking up to it, it comes right forward, and Bree goes, oh, that, and just books it out of there. And that's the first time I've seen Bree like very, very uncomfortable, and like her eyes just got like, she turned into an owl, and she was like,
I was looking down at the floor, like I would say 90% of the time. I was like, I can't look at you. I can't do
no,
anything.
Bree was
I don't
not
know
happy.
why.
It's okay, it's a scary movie.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
When this Exorcist came out, people actually walked out of the theater.
They did. People were like
Like,
thrown up and passing out and stuff.
It was bad. I mean, obviously some people are like, it's the stupid movie, but
No, it's a great
it's
movie.
still not.
It's fantastic.
I still won't watch it.
It doesn't
You cannot even make me watch that.
You had hair and it was bothering me. Sorry.
What about you?
Man,
There's a lot.
There's a
of
lot, and
funny moments.
I can't think of one funny moment that stands out right now. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Maybe you and I walking
Salem?
through Pinocchio by ourselves was pretty funny.
What do you mean Salem?
You were laughing at me when I went, "Bah!" when
Oh, the Salem. Yeah, but that was like
that wasn't a lot funny.
That was funny.
Yes.
I don't get scared a lot, but I think there was one moment when I was walking through American Horror Story, 2016.
Yeah.
And it was the very end of the maze. The very end of the maze. We walked through past, I guess, Lady Gaga's baby or something was in the thing. Walked by it. I was like, oh, end of the maze. And totally let my guard down. And a monster literally just shoved their hands through a curtain. And scared the crap out of me. And but I found it so hysterical. But I don't know.
That one was good.
Because I was laughing at myself. Like, that was funny.
Oh, I mean,
They never get scared.
it's a funny moment.
Anytime I see you dance, Mike.
Yeah,
It's the best thing in the
I
world.
dance.
When Leatherface came out that one time and just like was like
That was
this.
2016 as well. 2016 was full of many memories, I guess.
That's a funny memory.
Leatherface kind of freaks me out, and chainsaws do too. In the right context, sometimes I can find chainsaws to be really annoying, but if it's in a maze and it's properly done, I guess when I get scared, I do a little dance.
When you get really scared, like you get really caught off guard.
I kind of just
it has to be perfect for you to do.
yeah. I kind of run into place. But it doesn't happen every time. It happens really if you've really gotten me and I've done the little dance. That's how you know that I was actually genuinely like caught off guard.
Man, yep.
I honestly think we find
think
something
of-
funny almost every time we go to a haunt.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really think of like one particular moment.
Because they always fly by like so
Oh.
quickly.
Here's a funny moment. This is about the funniest moment. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's happened like while I'm working on Scary Farm 2. And I'm trying to think, maybe I can't disclose that stuff. But, so we were walking through Dark Harbor last year, right? And I took my best friend Shine with me. And she didn't, first of all, funny moment set up. We're getting on the bus. And she goes, "What's Dark Harbor?" Didn't even know what she was getting into. And I'm like, "You bought the ticket, didn't you? Like, read what it was." Didn't realize. Did you not look at the Captain Zombie face on the ticket? Like,
Fine.
so she gets there. She figured it out. She's like, "Oh crap. Okay, we're going through Lullaby." And it was before they rerouted it and everything like they did this year. She's going through, we get through the secret bar that's inside Lullaby that's always there. She feels safe. She just gets to panic and she bolts and like literally into a full sprint and starts running up these stairs, and I'm chasing after her going like, "Don't run!" I felt like Zach Bagans at that point.
Stop
like,
running!
We don't run!
Stop running!
I'm like, stop! Because I knew the maze wasn't over and that she was just gonna run right into a dark corridor with like 7 monsters. So I'm like, I always
we
started...
don't run into the danger.
Yeah, I'm all like, we do not run into danger. We run away from it. But I was like, I think that was a funny moment. Like, that just sticks out in my head. It was... Oh, Shine.
Will Brandenburger, question for everybody, as I eat my Starburst, sorry. Favorite maze at Not Scary Farm this year?
Crap. I knew this question was going to come up.
I have an answer.
I know you do. I know you like Waxworks.
I liked Waxworks.
I know. You know what? I'm gonna go with Origins. I liked Origins. And the more I think about it, and I've had some weeks to think about it, I really like the Ghost Town feel. I really like the origin story. I really like the Green Witch. So it's encompassing all of that. It had the Haunted Shack. It's got some things of past and present. So I am definitely gonna go with Origins.
I feel like Origins definitely had like it all. They had flying rigs, they had water effects, they had the story, they had the special effects to do it.
Yeah.
There was just something about Waxworks that I really liked, and I think it had to do with like just like the 1920s glam. It reminded me a lot of like House of Wax and House on Haunted Hill. And
You
those
know
are
why
both
I think you
movies.
liked it, Mikey Poo?
Why?
Well,
I think you
leaned
liked it
towards
because it had a Bioshock feel.
Yes. See,
It had a
just
Bioshock feel to
it
it.
triggered like a triggered. It
Yeah,
it brought up a lot of
triggered.
like things that I think I generally like, and it just kind of expanded all of those. You know, it had a Bioshock feel. It had, you know, a House of Wax feel, a House on Haunted Hill feel, a 1920s glam feel. Like there was just something about that maze that like I should have liked Origins more, and I loved Origins. Origins was like literally like a 3% away from being top, but there was just Waxworks just meant something to me. I don't know.
Well, you've wanted a wax museum at Knott's.
I've been wanting a
too.
wax museum at Knott's, but you know, even if I wanted a wax museum at Knott's and it wasn't good, then I wouldn't have chosen it. But I think because I wanted a wax museum, and then I got a wax museum, and it was a good wax museum, mine's wax museum.
How many times can we say Wax Museum
Wax museum.
in one vlog?
See, I don't know if I can give an objective opinion on this because I only got to see it during dress rehearsal. So I didn't get to see Origins like in its full glory that it's in now.
It's
And I've heard that there have been improvements made to it.
there's always improvements through
But
the year.
honestly, God, I really liked Waxworks. I really liked it. And I did not think I was going to like it. I'm not into body gore. I'm not into body horror. I don't like that stuff. It was a good maze.
I think people are I mean, honestly, I think you guys are leaning more towards Waxworks because it is a very intricate maze. It had a lot of components to it.
It had a lot of eye
Mostly
candy.
beautiful.
It had a lot of eye
It
candy.
had a lot of eye candy. It had a lot of figures. You had all those figures throughout. You actually walked through the House of Horrors in the wax maze. You came through different areas until you came into that horror part of what the doctor was actually doing. So it was easy actually to follow that story through Waxworks. Origins as well, you had the storytellers outside telling the story of Sarah Marshall, and I think that is something that both of these mazes are very strong in this year,
Yes,
and that have not had that in the past, where you've walked through a maze and you're like, what the hell's going on? But these two mazes, you got the story from the get-go before you walked in. You even had that guy running around out front of
Dr.
Waxworks.
Scratch, right? He was the doctor.
Yeah, you had, was that he the doctor?
I think that was him, yeah.
So yeah, he's running around like saying like what, you know, what's going on. You had the TVs around you telling the story of the doctor.
Yeah.
In Origins, you had the live actors telling you the story of Sarah Marshall. You had those amazing
Like the witch on the picture frames?
silhouettes projections. They had the silhouette projections of Sarah Marshall appearing, and then you had to look over kind of past the coffin in Boot Hill, and you had the people of what they used to be, like the farmer boy, all of a sudden turning into the silhouette of Otis. Like you knew that was Otis, or turning into the rooster. You could tell that was a rooster turning into the mummy. So for me, very strong mazes. I'm just leaning towards Origins because I like the Old West, the Green Witch and everything. You like Waxworks, but both mazes, very strong in their storytelling.
Yes.
Very strong understanding what the story was as well.
Yes, and I cannot wait for next year because I know for sure they're going to be there next year, and it's going to be great to see like what little things they add or if they do add anything, but I'm perfectly fine with those two staying because they were great.
So what was the creepiest room in Waxworks for you then?
Creepiest room in Waxworks was when you were going through this like little dungeon area and there was literally like a figure dripped in wax that was holding like a bunch of candles, and it was just like, it seemed like a bunch of hands and legs, and I just thought like, that's beautiful but also really gross but beautiful, and then I thought like, this entire maze is very gross but it's beautiful gross, if that makes sense. Like it's
There's
just
a lot of love put into the
Yeah.
artistry of what that
like
is.
some things can be just so appalling, I suppose, that you're just like, oh, there's an art behind it.
So for me,
That makes sense.
no, it totally makes sense. And for me, like the most beautiful room in Origins was
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Earthquake.
Sorry,
You cannot
guys.
use the power tools.
And for me, I think the most beautiful room was the rain room inside Origins.
So good.
That was great.
But the creepiest part to me was actually when you were walking just before you got into the witches area and the children were hanging from the ceiling.
God,
Those like that actually really disturbed me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, it's the children." Because like they said she took the children. She took the children to kill them. And then when you think of all the kids that are actually running around Ghost Town, kids, like characters, you're like,
Spooky.
yeah.
Spooky.
There's two things that I wanted to mention real quick about one about Waxworks, one about Origins. There's an Easter egg in Waxworks that Kyle saw and pointed out to me, and it's a Spidora poster.
Okay.
There's a Spidora poster that hails back to old school Scary Farm. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th year that they were running Haunt. It's hard to see, but if you find it, it's totally worth it. And the second one is on the altar of the witch. There is something for every scare zone. There's a little figure that looks like a clown. There's a figure that looks like something from Forsaken Lake. There's a ghost town figure, and there's a scarecrow.
Where's the altar?
I love
You
that.
have to find it.
I
But
love that.
it was pointed out to me, I think on Instagram. I think someone had said like there are pieces of it, and I was able to see a clown in it.
What a...
So
That's crazy.
these stories are beginning to connect to the whole park. So as much as I love Waxworks, and I still think that Waxworks for me personally is the best maze of the year, aesthetically, Origins is telling a better story
Yeah.
for Knott's as a whole.
Origins
And
has
it's
better
starting
mythology.
to connect every area of the park together, which will be interesting maybe for the 50th.
And if you guys don't know that, that's kind of exactly what they're trying to do, is connect every single maze, every single scare zone kind of all into one. It's almost like the Marvel universe. There's like different sects but of the park in different areas, but they're all kind of connected.
Yeah.
And if you guys even go inside Infected, we have a Catawampus spray painted on our wall.
And he's adorable.
And he's the cutest Catawampus you ever saw. But he's there. Have
you seen him, Mike?
And we are in Calico City. So it's like if you're in Calico City past with the Sarah Marshall and you're in Calico City present and Infected. But
Let's see if I can.
we can just put that up on the...
You can see him.
Camera noise.
Camera noise. Camera noise.
Camera noise.
I
Alright.
think those were pretty well thought out answers, guys.
Is that?
But
Is there,
it
no,
seems
is
like
there nothing else?
the two new ones, Waxworks and Origins, are the favorites this year.
Yeah.
Okay. David TLE_. We already did favorite maze, and he asked favorite maze and scare zone. So favorite scare zone. It doesn't say from where. It just says favorite maze and scare zone.
Toxic tunnel. Duh. I'm just kidding.
all the way.
All the way. Ghost town.
Ghost Town.
Ghost town.
Coast down.
Yeah. No answer. Explanation needed.
Yeah.
It's ghost town.
I love Ghost Town. I'm having so much fun, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Amber Duck.
Amber.
Amber.
Amber Duck,
Duck.
who I believe is working at
the
17th
She's
door,
at the 17th door, scaring the crap out of me.
asked a very interesting question and something I think is almost controversial for the haunt community. Have you guys heard of McCamey Manor or Blackout? They seem really intense.
We
Yes.
have heard of
both of those.
What? Okay. My opinion on McCamey Manor is it's not a haunt. It's more of a test yourself and torture area. Even if you say the safe word and say that
There's no safe
there's Yeah, there is no safe word actually, but even if you say you're done and you don't want to do it anymore, that does not mean that they're going to stop. There's been a couple short films made on McCamey Manor where you see him saying, "Are you done? Are you done?" And the person's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "No, you're not done." And they'll keep going, and it is not for me, and I don't think that anybody should really go through that unless they absolutely want to and want to come out with some sort of mental damage.
I would probably not put it in the haunt category because I do believe it is year-round, and not that that means anything, but I think that this is just kind of borderline. It seems to me like borderline torture, and I probably will never. No, not probably. I'll never do it because, you know, for me, haunt is a fun thing. Haunt is an area where you can just, you know, be scared, but you don't have to worry about your safety. And I think that McCamey Manor, there have been instances where you have to worry about your safety, and that's where it really stops being fun. And for me, I want haunt to be fun. I'll do 17th Door, you know, and again, some people are wondering, like, well, what's the difference? They touch you too there, and I think the difference is that there is a safe word, and there is, you know, things that you can do to prevent harm. There's things that you can do to prevent, you know, not having a good time. And McCamey Manor is just kind of like, no. But there are a lot of people that are into that stuff. So I do think that if McCamey Manor is the boat that you want to float, do it. But I personally will not. That's not to say that places that touch you and really psychologically mess with you are bad, such as Blackout or Alone, the existential experience, where, you know, you are literally in a dark room with a naked person and they just start rubbing up on you and stuff. Like, you know, those are more geared to be psychological, and those are more geared to be, you know, to get into your head. But there is a safe word, and there is like a stop, and it still feels more safe than McCamey Manor. McCamey Manor to me seems very dangerous. And I've heard stories of like people getting their heads dunked in like dog poop bins, and I've heard, you know, eating rotten eggs and they're throwing up and then make them eat the throw up, and that's just all things to me that just seem extreme, and I'm just not into it. So
Yeah, I mean,
I completely agree with you, Mikey Poo, because to me, like, I'm looking at this from a character point of view. I'm there to entertain you. I'm not there to torture you.
No.
And I think Bree would probably agree with that. When you go to a haunt event, you know, for the most part, you're going to walk out of there and you're going to be safe. You're there to have a release. You know you're going to get scared, but you know you're not going to get hurt. I cannot stand places like McCamey Manor because you're ruining the reputation of haunts. Where we're going to provide you with entertainment. We might scare you, you might scream, you might run, we might chase you a little bit. You're not going to get hurt. We're not going to hit you. We're not going to abuse you. We might scare the pants off of you. You might poop. That's happened this year. Someone pooped.
so, I mean, I'm going to place places like Blackout, places like
Blackout is
McCamey
different
Manor.
than McCamey, though.
It is different, but I'm going to place those under a category of just experiences. Not so much haunts per se. Those are experiences, and Blackout, those ones that Blackout in LA and
the Alone experience,
and everything like that, those are done in a very professional manner. Like Mike said, if you say stop, it's over. They take you out. It's done. You know what you're getting into. You sign that waiver, and there are many YouTube videos where you can hear and read and people's experiences on their vlogs and blogs and things like that. If you want to come out messed up for life, go to McCamey Manor. That's really what you're into. But it's an experience. I would never put it under a haunt category. Ever.
And I think that's probably going to be the last time we touch on McCamey, just because it's not...
Yeah.
I just don't think it's something that we are going to ever cover. You know?
No.
Like I said, if it's for you, you do you, boo. But it's not for us, and
No, it's just I think too extreme, and I think like at the end of the day, if we ever did do it theoretically, yes, we would survive, and yes, we would come out through it okay. But I think that the experience of it will be just not fun, and I'm not down.
And it's like
There's better ways to scare people.
there is, and it's like 17th Door. Even though we were touched, I was never touched in an unprofessional manner. at all. I was barely touched at all, actually, except for just a shoulder grab to move me somewhere, or maybe like putting me up against somewhere, or the guy in the front was like kind of rubbing your shoulders, trying to make you feel uncomfortable. But I was never punched. I was never pushed down. I was never
hair pulling.
I was never
spit on.
I was never
There's
kicked.
none of that, you know.
Like, no.
We weren't forced to like
No.
eat rotten eggs.
Absolutely
yeah, it's
not.
17th Door. I think is the best extreme haunt that you can get to, where you don't feel like you're in danger.
No.
And I feel like go to the 17th Door if you guys want to experience something really extreme, and if that's not extreme enough for you, then do your research and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, then let's go to the last one. Jesse C89. Tips and advice for scare actors new to streets or mazes, and what to expect from working for Not Scary Farm. I think it's going to be more of a you question.
Yeah, this is a you.
Okay, tips for mazes or street monsters. If you're gonna go for a maze, and if you've never scared before, I would always suggest to dip your feet into the maze circuit first. Okay, that'll get you basically adapted and to the haunt lifestyle, to the people, to how things work, especially at Knott's, checking in, signing in, getting your card, going to costuming, putting your costume on, blah, blah, blah. So if you've never scared before, please, please, please step into a maze position first. Okay?
Get your feet wet.
And get your feet wet and figure out what you like. But, start now putting scenarios in your head like, what if razor blades were coming into my body from the feet, starting at the feet all the way to your head? How would you do that? Especially without hitting the floor. Don't go rolling around on the floor in an audition too much. I don't like that per se, because that does put you in danger. And remember, because you're going to be scaring around a lot of people that are erratic, walking through your maze or even walking through your street zone. You're a vampire that's afraid of blood. You're Frankenstein, but you can't find your left bolt in your neck. Something so weird, but you gotta be able to come out of your shell, and you have to be able to not be embarrassed of what you're doing. Don't feel self-conscious. Just do it. Because when you do go into an audition, you're gonna have probably 5 other people with you that are doing the same exact thing in front of 4 people that are judging. So everybody's gonna be looking weird. Alright, so just get that out of your head that you feel stupid. Because it's not.
Because we all look dumb.
And
everyone looks dumb doing it.
Yeah, everybody looks dumb. The bigger you are, the better you are. Okay?
Controlled.
But controlled. Yes, very controlled. Do not be that erratic person. Now, if you are already in a maze, or you have some maze experience, and you want to step into the realm of streets, or you're just like, hey, I don't want to do the maze thing, I just want to go into streets, then you need to start now thinking of characters and character backgrounds and things that would fit certain scare zones at Knott's. If you want to be a clown, you need to come up with something that's special to that character that makes it stand out. Because if you just go, I'm just going to be a crazy clown, well, that's a dime a dozen. Okay, you got to be a little bit more out there. You've got, my good friend Kyle, he's a bear. In a circus bear and the crazy thing. We've got a teddy bear that runs around Carnival. You've got a wind-up toy. Emberly, yeah. that runs around. So those things make those characters stand out. Ghost Town, you've got, like a lot of different characters that stand out and put together. So if you want to go to Ghost Town, you need to make sure that fits that bio. Are you going to be a werewolf? Are you going to be a vampire? Are you going to come up with something totally unique? But it needs to fit within the realm of Ghost Town. Are you going to be like just a crazy street, street...
You're losing it. You're losing it.
I know.
Here's what I... Maybe an insight to you and me, what we worked on this year. How long did we work on my backstory and on our character work?
So the backstory came up a little quicker. I'm really good at backstories. Trying to and come up a little quicker. I can come up with a backstory with about an hour if you give me some bits and pieces. But the character work based off of that backstory, guys, we were in the backyard probably for about 3 to 4 months. Just working on Jax's backstory and working with other friends with their character work. And it is simple as, what are you going to do with your hands? What are you going to do as a walk? Is your character dead or alive? It's all these little things. How does your character move? Do they twitch? Are they smooth walker?
Do they pop, lock, and drop?
Yeah, do they pop? No. With Jax's character as the she-wolf on Ghost Town, she's on her knuckles. She has wide stances. She has to get low. So yeah, you have to think about, if I'm this, how am I going to do this? If you talk, what are you going to say? If you don't talk, then you need to start making sounds and getting your voice used to those sounds. And when you go into a Knots audition and you step up to the line and tell your name, you better have your character and a little synopsis, about 5 to 10 seconds to tell them, and then they're just going to go. And you got to do it. And you got to drop into that character within a second.
You can also walk into any audition and not have a character, and they might prompt you to say, okay, show me a Griever from Forsaken.
Right.
Show me a clown from Boardwalk.
But I'm just saying, if you are automatically going to go for that street audition, you better have something. Because if you just go, I want to go on streets.
Well, we had a couple people that were like, they didn't really care where they went. They just wanted to try out for a street position. They just gave them prompts.
Got it.
But you worked with me for freaking forever. I wanted to go to Ghost Town, so we worked for 4 months trying to get me ready to go to Ghost Town.
It's hard work, but that's how it is. Working at Knots, you're there for 6 weeks, probably 7.5. I'm going to tell you, it's a hard job. It's a very hard job. And there are nights that are going to test you to say, why am I even here? And it's the camaraderie of the monsters and of your fellow peers and things like that that's going to keep you going, because that's all you have some nights. And then there are some nights where you're like, this is the greatest job in the world, and you just had the best time of your life, and then you're like, yeah, this is why I'm doing this. We do it for the love of the scare, not the love of the money. Okay, first and foremost. But the 2 weeks before Haunt starts, we get to do incentive programs, we get together, we get to do improv stuff, we have a movie night that they've done for the last 2 years that was super fun, and they opened up the bumper cars for us, and they gave us refreshments and things.
Movie night's the best thing in the world.
Best thing in the world. And then throughout the run, you're gonna get patches, you're gonna get pins, you're gonna get 2 tickets to Knott's Berry Farm for the year. So there's these different incentives. You'll get your cup, and it makes things fun. And it's 6 weeks. It's really it's 27 nights, guys. But you do it, and you do it to your best of your ability. And I would absolutely recommend doing any haunt wherever you live, if that's what you want to do.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. What about you, Mikey Poo? Would you do it?
I would if the job that I currently have wasn't so I don't want to say demanding.
It is very demanding on your time.
Yeah, the job that I do, and I can't tell you guys what I do because I can't have you guys come over and visit or anything, but
Can I visit you?
Yes, you can. You know where I work. The job that I do, I will say, can I say this, you think? I work with animals. And so, I feel like if I were to take on Knots, it would take away from the animals, and I can't do that because my job does mean a lot to me. And, there are some days where I'm going to have to pull a 14-hour shift, a 15-hour shift, 16-hour shift sometimes because, we're short or something. And so I probably wouldn't do it. But also,
I would say maybe if the opportunity arose where it could accommodate your schedule, would you give it a try?
I would. I think it would be fun to do it once. I don't know if I would be good, but I certainly think it would be fun to just scratch off my bucket list. However, I enjoy going to so many different haunts so much that I don't think that I could do it like some people for like 30 plus years or even like 2 years consecutively. It would probably just be like a one and done kind of a thing and be like, okay, bye. And I know that they are flexible. Like you can go like half, you can go like, you can work half the event, you know, so like you might start, instead of in September, you start in October. So that would be...
If you're on call, sometimes.
Yeah, that would be interesting to give it a shot one time, but I don't think I'm ever going to, if that makes sense.
I need you to go to events. Sorry.
Yeah, we gotta cover the events so you guys can watch.
Since I'm working.
Kind of getting back on track with the question, when you go into an audition, if you want to work for Not Scary Farm, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely go for it. You know,
don't hold back.
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna learn a lot. I don't like it when people shit all over mazes, because that's where you learn the most.
Mm-hmm.
You really build up your scaring ability. You get certain tactics down. You learn how the park works, and then if you get a street spot, you're gonna have a blast too. It's all fun. All of it's fun.
If you've never done a maze, I would definitely recommend doing a maze first. You might like it. You might like being just because people are in mazes, it doesn't make them any less of a monster than those on the street.
Absolutely.
Like, everybody comes to see the whole event. If the mazes aren't good, people talk about it. People have their eyes on mazes.
If the street zones aren't good,
if the street zones aren't good, if they're lazy, people talk. So
it's a whole team.
Yeah, and there's some people that just love doing mazes. They love doing different mazes every year. You might have a career where you just follow the new mazes as you go on, and you get to be a whole lot of different characters instead of just being one character. And so that's something to look at too. But if if your goal is streets, then do the maze first, get your feet wet, and then, talk to people.
The dogs agree.
Yeah, the dogs are saying yes.
Talk to people, and then gear up for that street zone and get ready to lose like 20 pounds.
But just, it's very physically taxing.
Yeah.
Go into it knowing that it's very physically taxing, but if you want to do it, freaking go for it. Alright, I think this is the last question. Ready?
Last question.
Tony_UA6.
What's up, Tony_UA6?
Favorite maze design-wise? There is no thing indicating from which event. There's... Riley, stop it. Nothing indicating from which event or anything. Favorite maze design-wise?
Waxworks.
Origins. Yeah.
There you go. Sorry. So there you guys have it. I mean, we've answered all your questions. Thank you so much for submitting them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And maybe if you guys want to do more Q&As, let us know if you guys like this kind of video in the comments down below, because I certainly enjoy sharing stuff about us to you guys who might be new to the channel, might not know us all that well. So
I love doing questions. I love talking about Halloween. So anything you guys want to know, we will let you know.
Yeah.
As it comes. And there's just, this year's almost over for Haunt, and there's already talks in my ear of next year, and I'm really excited about it. But obviously I can't really disclose anything, but you guys, I think Halloween is just gonna get bigger and better every single year, and
yes, it is.
That just oh my god, I have no words.
Great things to come. We're getting a lot of the events were fantastic, but some of them are foreshadowing to even greater things.
Yes.
So we are ready for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and always be ready.
Because you never know where your compass will take you.
Bye!
Check out our Patreon.